Medical tourism, or in my case, dental tourism, is why I'm in Playa del Carmen for a couple weeks. I've come down here to finally get the chip in my teeth fixed. I've got 2 front teeth that are chipped. They've been like this since I was about 10 or 11 after a bicycle accident, and my parents never got them fixed. It wasn't really a priority, and at my age, I have dealt with them pretty much all my life. I did have veneers a few years ago. They only stayed on for about 3 years, and then they came off. But in all fairness, my dentist said that he didn't know how long they were going to last because it just was a very awkward position to try to cover the 2 front teeth. So instead of getting veneers again this time, I've decided to go with crowns, and not only am I going to do the 2 teeth in the front, I've decided to do all 4 of the front ones, because not only do I have chips in 2 of the teeth, but one of the other teeth are crooked and it kind of leans in to one of the 2 in the front. And this is after having braces as an adult, which the braces were absolutely excruciatingly painful for me. I know some people, they're not that big of a deal, but for me, I absolutely hated them, and don't want to have to go down that road again to fix that one tooth that's leaning in. So we're just going to go ahead and get all 4 of them done. And with the rising cost of medical and dental coverage and insurance copays in the States, it's just something that I just decided not to get done there. So I'm going to a dentist in Cozumel that was referred to me by a friend. Me and my guy have already been down there, and we got our teeth cleaned and got a quote on these. It's going to cost me about 10,000 pesos per tooth, which with exchange rates, it's going to work out to, I think, about $600 per tooth, which is much cheaper than what it was in the States. And so we have a friend here that has this lovely house in Playa del Carmen who was gracious enough to let us stay here for a couple weeks while we get this done. And so we have to take the ferry over to Cozumel. Now, I was very specific in deciding to use a dentist in Cozumel instead of Playa del Carmen, which would have been much more convenient for this trip, because me and my guy cruise quite a bit, and every cruise ship, if you've cruised at all, you know if you leave Galveston and you go anywhere to the Caribbean, you're going to go to Cozumel. And so having our dentist there, it was about a 10-minute drive from the cruise terminal. We can literally get off the ship and just go straight over to the cruise terminal for any of our cleanings or cavities. And since we do take cruises pretty often, and Cozumel's easy to get to from Playa, where we have friends that live here, it was just a no-brainer. So we're going to go ahead and go today and get the first step of the procedure. So I wanted to do this video before anything was done to my teeth yet, and this is really hard for me to point out because I'm not a huge fan of it. I usually try to hide the chip in my tooth when I do videos on my other channel for business, but in fact, even somebody called me out, one of my dear friends. She's like, oh, it was a great video, but your teeth look, I'm like, I know. So thank you, Deanie, for pointing that out to me, because it was already on my mind, and I think you prompted me a little bit more to go ahead and get this done. So we'll go ahead and get this done, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I will take you over to Cozumel later on, and we will see what we can get done. Buenos días. Okay, so I'm back and I am done. We went back over to Cozumel on the ferry, and whenever you take the ferry here in Playa del Carmen to Cozumel, and actually also Isla Mujeres, if you've never been there, it's a fabulous little island. So if you come to Cancun or Playa del Carmen, if you get the opportunity, definitely go over to Isla, go over to Cozumel. They're fabulous. But on the ferry, you want to make sure that if you have any amount of motion sickness, that you get some C-bands, you take some Dramamine, you get the little patch behind your ear or something, because the ferries can be a little bit rough. The first one over there, definitely rough on both me and my guy. But the next one that we took to go get my permanent teeth wasn't near as bad. But we also took the different one. So there's a Windjet, which is a single hull ship ferry, but the Ultramar is a double hull ferry. But I personally think the double hull is a smoother ride in most cases, so that's what we did. And so we got over to Cozumel, didn't have any problems. There was a little bit of rain, nothing we couldn't walk through, so it was no big deal at all. Still saved the money on the taxi, got the exercise, walked over to the dentist's office, and when we got there, they were waiting for me, took me right back. It's probably about an hour and 15 minutes total, because he had a little trouble getting the temporary crown off. It was basically a single piece that went across all 4 of my teeth on the temporary, so that took a little bit. He actually had to break them. Oh, hi, little critter. So there's these weird little things over here. I need to get them on video before I leave so that y'all can see what they look like. Anyways, so there's this piece, and so he had to break it into smaller pieces to get them off my teeth so that he didn't do any damage to the teeth that were still there, that we had to attach the permanent crowns onto. So he got that all done. He got the permanent crowns on. Now, as you can see, my smile is there. Now, I did not go with any kind of movie star, fake, ridiculously white kind of thing. We wanted something that looked natural, and I did whiten my teeth a little bit before I got here because I do drink coffee and teas and all of that. So I did whiten my teeth at the house before we got here for a few days, just so that they would be a little bit lighter for him to do the match with. And he came back in with, I think it's a good color. It did take a little bit to get used to the new teeth. I am having just a little bit on the back where I'm actually making some contact. So whenever I come back on the cruise ship next month to Cozumel, they're going to make that a little adjustment for me. But I didn't want to go back over on this trip because I wanted to give myself the opportunity to get used to the new 4 teeth before I had to make any more adjustments. And they definitely feel better now than what they did like right away. Of course, I was still very numb, and then even the next day I was not numb, but I was maybe just a little bit sore from the injection sites of the numbing, and I didn't want to, again, make any snap decisions on making him make adjustments that would probably just work themselves out. So I do, like I said, need a little bit of adjustment. It won't be bad. Other than that, I've gotten used to the new teeth over the last few days. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the results. And the cost was definitely a lot less than what it would have been in the States for a regular dentist. And they did a great job. Their office was fabulous. I will put their information down below for anybody that's interested. Cozumel is a super easy island to get to. You can feel very safe. If you're a person that's like, oh, I'm terrified to go to Mexico because of all the things I hear, I get that, but I live in Houston, Texas, and Houston, Texas has plenty of things on the news. There's plenty of crime that goes around, and yet I've pretty much been there my whole life. You have to understand that the news is there to make money and to get people to watch it. They do only focus on oftentimes the big stories, the negative stories, and honestly, there's no way that they can report about every good thing, because sometimes the bad things are what you need to know, because the bad things are what you need to be concerned about with safety. But don't worry about it. If you want to come to Mexico to get any kind of procedures done, even something as simple as dentistry, if you don't want to get into the medical tourism side of things with the more extensive procedures, then Cozumel is definitely going to be a good place for you to go to. There are direct flights from a lot of places, and you can go directly to Cozumel from the States without having to stop in Mexico and fly over or take the ferry over. So you can go directly to Mexico. I just didn't do it because of the location that we have here to stay at. That is a friend of ours' house, and it worked out best for me. But going forward, I'll still get all my dental work done there. That way I can hit it easy from the cruise ship. So check out the information on this dentist if you are interested in doing so. I'm very pleased with the work that I got. I was very pleased with the service. I need to go in and give them a rating on Yelp and make a comment on Facebook, which I will do once we're back in the States, because today is travel day. And my friend over there is feeding for some coffee, the cute little coffee cart right outside of Playa del Carmen, and she is wanting to go down and get some. So, Dee, do you want to come over and say hi to the video? Come on. So this is my friend. She came down with me for this 2-week workcation that we're doing here. She also works remotely, and we've had a fabulous time. I'm actually going to do a video strictly on Playa del Carmen and Playa Car. So hi, say hi. This is Dee, Diana, and she hasn't traveled out of the country for about 6 years. Last time we were out of the country to Ixtapa, Mexico, yeah. We had her sister's wedding to go to at the time, and it was a great experience. But she hasn't traveled since then, and so whenever this opportunity came up, she told me in a previous conversation we were talking, yeah, I'd like to go. And so I was like, I booked this on the fly. We had a perfect 2-week period that we could slam it in there, and I was like, hey, Dee, do you want to go? And she booked that flight. So she has come down and had a good time?
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad I came.
Yeah.
I had so much fun.
So I think she's getting more of the travel bug, and she was a little apprehensive about coming to Mexico, even though she wasn't getting her teeth done, but
Yeah.
she was a little apprehensive about coming down here to Playa del Carmen, right?
Yes.
And how do you feel now?
I'm glad I didn't let my fears take over.
Yes, exactly. Did not have her fear stop her. Some other people were concerned for her safety that, just wanted to make sure that she was good. But of course, she was here with me and my guy, and it never hurts to travel with somebody that, that you can trust and feel good about the first few times. And so I'm glad that she was able to come down here with us. But now she says that she would feel comfortable coming down with her family or even by herself or coming back with us another time. So there you go. So that's the video on dental tourism that I have personally experienced, and hopefully it opened up somebody's eyes to the possibility of getting away from high cost in the States. Look, a lot of us don't have big companies with just incredible insurance, and whenever you have families and you have kids that need braces or you have this, that, and the other, and you can get everybody done at one time, wrap it around a vacation, and just come down, and it would still possibly or more than likely be cheaper than what you would have to pay for the same work in the States, especially if you don't have dental insurance. Consider it, because these places need our business to help out their economy. They're not always as fortunate in their economy as we are. We think we've got it tough sometimes in the States, and prices are high and it's hard to make ends meet, but we really do have it a lot better than a lot of people. And so if medical tourism or dental tourism works for you, then check into it, look at reviews, talk to people that have done it, and don't be scared and don't let fear hold you back from experiences, right? So anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.